All right, we're good?
All right,
All right.
we're good.
I love it.
Thumbs up. Let's
Okay.
light this candle. Yeah. All right, all systems go. Lift off. Just like the Apollo astronauts.
It never gets old.
It never gets old. I tell you, our theme never gets old. And we're off.
Well,
We lift off. Here we go. We're on our way.
on our way. We're here. It is Eat Talk Repeat, another episode of your favorite podcast. I'm Ash Watkins. You can find me at Ash the Attorney on all platforms. I think I'm hanging up my Hamburguesa Principessa moniker, so I need to figure out a new one. And then we've got our grumpy gastronome.
Here I am at your service, also known as the peripatetic epicure, also known as the sedulous surveyor of superior sustenance.
The sedulous
Surveyor
surveyor
of superior sustenance. Okay?
Well, there you go.
Look it up.
I need a thesaurus hanging out with you. Together we make up Eat Talk Repeat. You can find us at Eat Talk Repeat on all platforms. Like, follow, subscribe to the show, leave a review. Also, comments on YouTube. We love reading those and responding to them. Also, you can reach out to us. Cheers at eattalkrepeat.com. There might have been a glitch in the matrix with the email address and the email account. So if you got bounced,
no.
I know if you got bounced or ignored, we apologize. But again, we are a not-for-profit podcast
You're
over here.
getting what you pay for. Okay.
Exactly. But yes, email us to find out if you have questions. Recently, speaking of which, someone asked about sushi. They were coming into town and they needed a place to grab sushi at lunch. And I was like, that is an almost impossible ask.
That's what I said to. And he's an old follower of mine. I think I met him. I mean, we're going back close to 20 years ago when I first met him. So it was good. And I was like out of ideas, right? I said, go to Sushi Hero way over on Eastern. And you came through though, but I didn't know. What did you tell him?
So I told him off strip, they open a little later, Chin Chin, which opens at 2, and then a new spot, Doanbury, opens at 1. And then I said, other than that, I'd go to like Sushi Roku in the Forum shops. And then I gave him the place that you mentioned last week or last episode, the Tanuki.
Tanuki up on Boca Park, Tanuki, yes. And then so I said, Sushi Hero in Henderson. But lunchtime
But no, he was going at lunch. He was going at lunch.
Yeah.
And Sushi Hero's not
nothing to find.
Yeah. So I gave him those recommendations via email. He reached back out and he said they ended up going to Chin Chin on Saturday for lunch, and it was absolutely fantastic. So great, and at a giant cost difference compared to strip options. So he thanked us for the rec. Yeah. So cheers.
Good.
Cheers,
happy to
cheers.
see we're there for you with all of your, what did I say? We're nutritious, we're healthy and nutritious restaurant advice at affordable prices.
Put that on a t-shirt. Again, we are still doing our weekly newsletter. It's official. I think we've maybe sent out 10 already is what I think I might have read.
Go producer Sammy. Yes.
Go producer Sammy. She helps scour the interwebs for all the leftover news we don't get to on the show. Sign up for it to eattalkrepeat.com. We also do some fun segments on there where you can try and guess from a photograph where we've been. It's a little bit of an obscure photo. We've stumped the audience many weeks.
I think the food gal got this one, but she didn't send it in. Yeah. She knew it right away.
This one, this one was pretty easy. I threw a softball. We had stumped everyone like 3 weeks in a row. So threw up a softball and it was guessed, and we're going to iron out the kind of details of our merch and we'll be sure to get it out to you. And then last but not least, send us your insider information. If you know a secret, email us, respond to the newsletter with it. You can go to our website and drop a line there. Don't worry, we will keep everything anonymous, even though We're not paid for over here. We still uphold the standards of journalism. You want to be an anonymous source, and we'll keep it. So send us your tea. We'll share it.
And if you want to, throw somebody under the bus or just vent about some place, I mean, we'll use your first name. If you want us to, we'll use a pseudonym. We'll use no name. Just that a listener tells us blank. We're happy to do it. We'll play it any way you want it played.
I know, and we've got several guests that want to come on, but they don't want their names or images. So
Sid Siegel's one of them. I call him Sid
so-
Siegel, but he's not. That's not his name. But we have lots of guests. Aren't we going to do a China? Before I forget, aren't we going to do a Chinatown episode soon?
Yes, we're going to record a Chinatown episode later this month in April, and that'll be really fun.
Yes,
hoping to do it on location in Chinatown.
Yes, I forgot about that. Okay, good.
And so it's going to happen, and John is going to bring all of his knowledge that you learned on your venture up and down Spring Mountain Road.
248 restaurants.
And remind me, it was mostly Japanese?
Japanese one, yeah. That was the eye opener for me. That it was Japanese is the clear winner in terms of a number of sit down food, savory food service venues, with Korea and China neck and neck for the second and third spot. Vietnam number 4, but Japanese is clearly. I forget the number right now, but I think had something like 60, 54, 56, something like that of the of the addresses on restaurants in Chinatown are now Japanese. And 10 years ago, it would have been just the opposite. They were Chinese. And then Korea came up, but Japan, with all of the, all the ramen shops, all the all-you-can-eat sushi, the revolving sushi, all the little yakitori places, both good, bad, and indifferent, they have sort of really taken over in Chinatown. So we should call it, I call it Asian Town. I like to call it Asian Town because that's really what it is. But Chinatown, go ahead.
Of those, which is your favorite style of cuisine? Chinese?
Well, no, the one I can eat all the time is Japanese. Okay. I never get bored with Japanese food. Chinese food, I love it. And, in Chinese, calling cuisine Chinese food is like saying American food. I mean, it's just, it's too broad of a category because, China has huge regions in it. And, the Cantonese food is way different than Hunanese food, which is way different than Mandarin cooking and Fujian and all this. But I love all the variety in China. But Japanese food, to me, you could eat it 3 or 4 times a week and never get bored with it because it's so clean, it's so fresh, and low-cal, too, and sake.
Well, I love sake. I'm looking forward to that episode. Also, if you guys listening have any suggestions of places you think we need to go and do it on location, we're happy to take it under consideration.
We can't be every place at once. So, we need stringers. I used to call them, back in the day when I was doing radio and writing for magazines, we call them, I need stringers out to say, check this place out, because you just can't, we can scour all the websites and everything, but sometimes, like later in the show, I'll talk about it in a minute, I found a great Thai restaurant way out on West Tropicana that, I would have never discovered on my own without someone telling me about it.
All right, let's get into our restaurant rundown of our recent ventures that we will talk about after the break.
Yeah, where have you been?
Nowhere. I have not been in Vegas.
For goodness sakes.
I know.
I'm doing all the heavy lifting around here.
You are. I'm sorry.
At my age.
I know, but you've been to some places.
I have. I've been to some interesting places. You're too busy working and, making a living. I keep forgetting about that.
Something has to pay the bills, John. Something has to pay the bills.
Something has to pay
where have
for
you been?
my part. Well, went back to D'Agostino's. Saw my buddy Chef Dan Thompson there. We'll talk about.
When was the last time you had been there?
Pre-COVID. So 2019, 2018. We'll talk about that. And then sort of got into it with a couple of my friends who saw that we had gone, and they went, and then they had some sharp disagreement with my opinions.
About D'Agostino's?
Yes, well, I'll talk about that. Also got hauled at the point of a gun to a Eastern European restaurant called Beso, as in, kiss. I think on Flamingo and some other, I don't know where it was. I mean, wait, I'm sorry. Beso is Beso blows. So we'll be talking more about that. Letting myself get talked into an Eastern European restaurant is really a fatal flaw that I have, because I should know better. I do know better, but I still go. Went back to Bungalow for breakfast just because I love their breakfast sandwich. That's all I'm gonna say about it. They have this great little, basically like Egg McMuffin with ham, cheese, a beautiful soft muffin, and just a thin layer of like raspberry jam. One of the great, an egg, of course, one of the great breakfast sandwiches in Las Vegas, in downtown Las Vegas. Then
Wait,
also,
I have to ask you. Should I wait for later? But I want to hear about this sandwich.
Well, that's about all I can say about it. It's just a tiny little,
There's jam on it.
just a thin layer of jam, which I think is pure genius, to put this on basically a ham, egg, and melted cheese English muffin breakfast sandwich. Not a lot, not a big thick layer, but it just gives it that little bit of little sweet sour punch that contrasts and basically works against the soothing ham and cheese and egg you're getting. So it's sort of like a sweet breakfast pastry on top of a savory, eggy breakfast sandwich, and it works. And it's just a great sandwich. We'll debate later. Taste of Gujarat. Now, you're gonna. I found myself again. Why do I keep being led out to Kentucky? I don't know, but I find myself out there more than I want to be these days. Oh yeah, because the food gal wanted to check out the new Cafe Brej, so went to that. Just had a quick pastry and a coffee there. Love their new location. It's where the Perry Breast used to be on Eastern. Everything's on or off Eastern in Henderson, but it's going to be the best. All I can say is just go Cafe Brej in Henderson, off Eastern. The best French pastries Henderson has ever seen. Way too good for Henderson. It doesn't ever, quality always falls on its face out there in terms of, the regression to the mean when it comes to food. But Cafe Brej in Henderson, now open just a week now, but it's going to, for bread, croissants, macarons, Paris Brest, you name it, pain au chocolat. It's just ethereally good. And then I went to a place called What's Zaap. Heard of What's Zaap? ZAAP? Heard of it?
Yeah, I've seen like people post about it, and I've kind of seen it on some, like when I'm searching for lunches, it'll come up, but I've never.
It's way out west Trop at, I don't know, at Trop and Fort Apache. I think that might be it. This is where I need the food gal here, because I always forget the cross streets. But, and it's, apparently it was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. It's only been open like 5 years, maybe 6 years. Somehow it got on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. So pictures of the frosted tips one are everywhere. But the food was good, and I'll talk about more about that. What Zaap?
Yeah, it's on Tropicana right after Fort Apache.
Right, and really, the food gal had been there once before me. This is like a month ago, and she said, I think this is really just something out of the ordinary in terms of Thai food. And 2 bites in, I could see what she was talking about. So What's Zaap? We'll talk about more later. But now let's get to, drum roll, food news you can use.
Food news you
with
can
Ash
use.
Watkins, yes. Where do you want to start?
We had a big announcement. We've got James Beard Award finalists in Vegas.
Well, we had about 10 semifinalists. Right?
Yeah, they've called the herd. They've narrowed it down. Each category now has about like 5, 6. Some are smaller with 4. Some a little bit larger with 8. But yeah, the James Beard Awards, they've made their final cuts. These are their nominees. These guys will go to Chicago to see if they've won. And I'm really excited to announce that Tamba is a finalist for Best New Restaurant.
Nationwide. Yeah, that's a real feather in their cap. And they're up against, I think, 5 or 6 other restaurants across the country. Tamba, our very own Tamba. Go, Tamba, go.
And then another one that we're very proud of, very excited, is Brian Howard of Sparrow and Wolf. He's made the cut for, what is it, Best Chef Southwest.
Should have won this award years ago, but congrats, Steve, getting it. And then, of course, in a as I said in one of my tweets, in a nod to the public relations power of the Wynn Las Vegas, Sara Thompson, a woman named Sara Thompson, for Casa Playa, a restaurant that nobody talks or cares about, suddenly is now a finalist for Best Chef Southwest. And tip of the Stetson to those hardworking PR people pulling all the strings they can to make sure the Wynn Las Vegas gets a nominee, even though for a very, very criminally overpriced Mexican restaurant. So
you've been to Casa Playa?
Yes. Yeah. Remember it took over the Puyol space that opened and closed in the blink of an eye several years back. And they took it over, and I went in, and the menu is it's just overpriced casino corporate Mexican food. There's nothing special about it. I mean, this is just another example of, I applaud when I think people are worthy, but I'm also know the system to know when it's being gamed to get, corporate chefs nominees that, there's dozens of more worthwhile chefs who should be nominated for this in town. I don't know. I have nothing against Sara Thompson, but come on, this is just a corporate casino hotel that suddenly wants to get this so they can brag that they have a James Beard finalist in their ranks. So
I think she was a finalist last year.
I don't. Again, it's just This is just shows you how PR driven this thing is, and there's so many more deserving people in town. And I mean, come on, a casino Mexican restaurant, no. I mean, when you compare to what Steve Kessler is doing, what Brian Howard is doing, what Nicole Brisson is doing, what James Trees is doing, the chefs at Tamba. I mean, think about what Oscar Ito. I mean, come on. I mean, anybody could dial up, not just me and you, but there a dozen other food writer people in this town. They would go, oh, yeah, here's a list of 20 worthwhile people. Well, what about Sara Thompson at Casa Playa and the Wynn Hotel? Like, who? I mean, come on. Yeah, that just shows you how much bullshit is behind these sometimes.
I think I'm going to have to go check it out. I'm going to have to go check out what Sara Thompson is cooking up over at Casa Playa. And everyone else who's listening, get to Tamba and get to Sparrow and Wolf before I think these guys knock on all the wood around me that they win when the awards are announced. When is it? It's in
May. It's usually around Mother's Day in May.
Yeah,
and
because
the votes are in. I mean, now it's just they just have to have their big reveal and whatnot. So it's it'll be interesting. I mean, I'd be surprised if any of our nominees win anything.
Hey, nope. Don't bring that negativity.
I'm just being. It's realistic activity. It's realism. I'm just trying to be the adult in the room here, okay? It's all bullshit. But Brian Howard, like I say, should have won a long time ago. And Tamba is definitely, as I told my friend Barbara Fairchild, who's was the former editor of Bon Appetit magazine. She asked me as soon as they came out. She said, "What about Tamba?" And I said, "Well, Tamba." Almost overnight, in a period of like maybe 60 or 90 days of opening, completely revived the Indian food scene in Las Vegas, okay, that was less than moribund, and it suddenly everybody was talking about this restaurant. And they did it with, the food, the service, the decor, the wine list, the cocktail program, the atmosphere, incredibly well crafted and interesting Indian food that breaks a few molds and try to modernize. It's a lot of very, very stale sort of ideas that people have about tandoors and various chats and biranis and whatnot. And I said, all of a sudden, so you've got to, if anything, a restaurant that can do that overnight with a cuisine that was pretty much dead in this town, I mean, deserves a lot of accolades. So, fingers crossed for Tamba.
Favorite. Tamba is one of my favorite drinks.
No, what is that?
I think it's called Priya's Breakfast. It's like an Indian, like curry-esque Bloody Mary. It's with gin.
Did we have that when we all ate there together? I think we did. Yeah, it was good. Everything about Tamba is fantastic. It is.
I know.
Everything about Sparrow and Wolf is fantastic. Okay, you'll have to go to Casa Playa and tell me. Maybe I just take the name Casa Playa because it's just such a douche bro name. I'm sorry, Casa. We
just hate it because it's a Wynn restaurant.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you just hate it because of a woman. I was bracing myself for that.
I think your best defense to that is how close and how much you respect Nicole Brisson.
Yeah,
a lot of other great chefs
and
around town.
Gina Marinelli. I mean, come on. There's I've been applauding female chefs in this town since you were playing in a sandbox. True.
Never. All right, so root for our hometown favorites as they go up to Chicago to find out if they've won. Tamba for best new restaurant. Again, Sarah Thompson of Casa Playa at the Wynn and Chef Brian Howard of Sparrow and Wolf are up for Best Chef Southwest. I think Brian Howard and Tamba, they've got a chance.
Yeah.
Don't listen to John, everyone.
Ignore me. Ignore me at your peril.
Yeah. Another segueing to another James Beard finalist in years prior is Chef Oscar Amador behind Amador Cocina Fina. Can never tell how we're pronouncing that these days. Cocina. That restaurant is incredible, and they're now doing an a la carte menu, which I think I've done when I went. I think you do that. They also now have a regular tasting menu, which is $89.
Yeah,
reasonable,
and it is a steal for $89. Yeah.
And then they have a high-end tasting menu for $135, which is still incredibly reasonable for a tasting menu. And it showcases what Chef Oscar and the restaurant are about, and it's just dining without limitations is what they say. And then last but not least, John, have you heard about the dialogue series that Chef Oscar is doing over there?
No, what's that?
So on Mondays, over at Amador Cocina Fina, Chef Oscar is doing these like partnerships with other local chefs. He had Yuri from Partage a couple weeks back.
Say it with me. Sarjewski. That's as good as I can do.
It doesn't look that way.
Sarjewski. I say Sarjewski. Yeah, well, there's a lot of things. The other night I was with a bunch of people and they had a certain, how do you pronounce NJ DUA?
Nuya.
I say Nuja. She's an Italian and chef. She goes, it's Nduja. I said, yeah. I looked right. I said, yeah, Nuja.
Nduja.
Okay,
now I learned.
I want to keep it 2 syllables. It's actually 3. She's right, of course. But anyway, but Chef Yuri Zarzewski, Dan Cromer does one, of course. Roberto Higuera is doing one April 22nd. Is he doing it, Roberto Higuera, with Oscar Ito?
Yeah, so Oscar's there. He kind of, I think, partakes in it a bit, but
he turns it over to the other chef and lets him do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah.
So, yeah, Roberto Higuera is doing April 22nd. And if you don't know where he's currently cooking, up masterpieces. It's over at Brasseria by EDO. So
Oh, he's one of them with Tay Elamar. He's cooking with Tay Elamar. Okay, over at Brasseria. Right.
John, RIP, White Castle is shutting down 2 of its locations.
The one right
shed
on
a
the
tear?
strip, right there, next to the Venetian Hotel.
Yeah.
Somebody said, like, some Nimrod on the internet said, Las Vegas is losing one of its most iconic restaurants. Yeah, really? White Castle, iconic.
I mean, come on. You love a good White
I
Castle every
do.
now and then.
I do. I have a history with White Castles that go back to the early 1970s. So yes, I've been eating them again since most of you were in short pants, and I love them. There's something about the flavor, that steamed, oniony little cheeseburger with just with the right little splat of mustard on it. Really, really satisfies. Yeah.
Well, it's almost like you don't even realize you just ate it. It's so airy.
Yeah. You know what they
small.
used to do? And I haven't seen them in years, at least 20 years. For the longest time, back in the 90s and early aughts, they had frozen jalapeno White Castles at the Smith's Food on Rancho in Charleston that I used to shop at, right around the corner from my house. And these things were just basically, they just had just a little bit of, I think, chopped jalapeno in them. Incredibly good. And I would get them, I would get like a 10-pack like every 2 weeks. When when I was working hard and going through divorces and not able to cook for myself and depressed and lonely on a weekend, I'd just sit there and microwave a bunch of them and eat all day. So,
Oh my
but I don't see them anymore. I don't even know if they make them anymore. The frozen jalapeno White Castle sliders, one of the great cheap foods I've ever had.
We'll have to look for it. And guys, if you find them,
let me know
where to send them.
Yes. Okay,
Send
so
'em to
let's
that
keep
guy.
going. So there's one in Paradise Road, one in Jean, and of course the one downtown, right on Fremont Street, still there.
Is that the one you go to?
Yes. Yeah, when I go, but it's been 5 years. Now I'll have a White Castle like I have In-N-Out. Like every few years, maybe I'll have one, if that. So, okay, let's go. Keep going. Pappalecco. What the hell? How do you pronounce that?
Pappalecco.
Pappalecco.
Pappalecco, the Italian cafe that is from San Diego.
Okay.
Is coming to, like, over by the university, by UNLV, and it's known for thoughtfully crafted coffee, gelato, pastries, paninis. It opened April 9th. Pappalecco, have you heard about it?
Nope. No, I don't know if I'll ever get there,
What?
Yeah, just what Las Vegas
An
needs.
Indian restaurant in Henderson.
Yes, I did, but because Indian food is kind of unique and pretty rare in these here parts. I mean, does Las Vegas need another Italian restaurant? No.
They still make your jalapeno White Castles, FYI.
So anyway, if Pappalecco resets the paradigm, let me know, and I'll beat a path to its door. If it's just another Italian restaurant, I don't need another one of those. Neither does my waistline. So, okay.
Did you hear me?
What?
Your frozen White Castle jalapeno burgers, they still exist.
They do.
Yeah.
So, so it's still a product they make. You just have to find
jalapeno cheese.
a freezer case in a supermarket that has them.
Yeah, I'm seeing them at a Walmart. I'm gonna have to get you these for your birthday or Christmas or something.
Now this could get me into a Walmart. It could. But if I'm going to go, I'm going to have a disguise on, the big glasses and the nose with the mustache. I mean, I don't want anyone to. Well,
I'm gonna put out a big press release that if anyone sees anyone buying the jalapeno cheese sliders at Walmart, alert the authorities.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited. I mean, my wife won't be, but I remember these things fondly. It just kind of got me through a tough time as a bachelor. Let's give credit where credit was due. Okay.
Okay, so White Castle jalapeno burgers still exist. Pappalecco, the Italian cafe, does not pique your interest. What about Cantina Contramar that's opened at the Fontainebleau?
Absolutely. Yes.
Have you been?
Well, I've been to the one in Mexico City a couple times. Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
But this one just opened. I believe friend of the show, Greg and Deanna, have booked us a table for like 2 weeks from today. So that's gonna. So I cannot wait because Contramar, Mexican seafood at its very, very best. I think it's gonna be a
And
hit.
also for the drinkers, they're big into agave. I think they have around 50 tequilas and 15 mezcals to offer. Um, some homemade, clamatos, and they make their palomas.
Yeah,
Also, they have a roaming cart, tableside margaritas, and carajillos.
Carajillo is a little coffee drink. Yes, yes, it would be.
Yeah, it's the
Liquor
Mexican
43.
espresso
Yeah.
martini.
Yes, 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 yes. I love that. Yeah,
That's
Mexico.
all the restaurant news I have, John. Do you have anything?
Well, no, Cantina Contramar is big news. Okay. I mean, in terms of openings this year, that's going to be big, along with the Maroon by Kwame Onawachi.
Onwuachi.
Onwachi. You know, when I was younger, everybody had names like Robert Williams. Okay.
Don't get us
Linda
canceled, John.
Miller.
Don't get us
Okay.
canceled.
You know, everybody's name, Sammy Thomas. Okay. See, easy, easy. Now, all of these crazy, all these vowels, all of these syllables. Oh, it's hard on it.
Oh, I've got one last thing. I just looked this up on the Las Vegas Weekly. Apparently, Scotch 80 Prime, they're getting rid of girl dinner. And they want, you're gonna gather your crew and you get 3 tiny martinis for $20.
They're getting
Then they
rid
have
of it? What, you said they're getting rid of it?
getting rid of girl dinner. They're
What?
trying to replace. You don't know what girl dinner is?
No.
Oh,
Do I look? I mean, remember who you're talking to here. Aging
girl dinner
boomer.
Girl dinner is like when a girl comes home from work, she's hungry, but doesn't wanna make a meal, so she, like, grabs a jar of pickles, some cheese from her fridge, and cracks open a beer or, like, a margarita or makes a quick drink.
So you're talking about
That's
people
girl dinner.
without a personal chef.
Right,
Okay.
right. But, yeah, so Scotch 80 Prime, they're doing something cool over there. They've got some small bites. They're trying to keep it light. They're making small cocktails. I think this is maybe a last-ditch effort to keep them alive, frankly.
Mm.
I don't have high hopes for Scotch 80 Prime.
Oh, do tell. Why
I
not?
know. I just it's hidden in the palms. A lot of
Yeah.
restaurants just
Yeah.
kind of did the exodus out of there. It's sleepy. It's kind of got that older Vegas classic steakhouse energy, which I think is kind of fading out.
Right. And it's not poppy steak, it's not Barry's downtown. It's not what people are looking for in steakhouses these days, even though the food's very good. Yeah, it does have an old school vibe. I haven't really thought about it much, but I think your instincts might be right. Yeah. Sad
Yeah.
because Marty Lopez is a good chef, and it's also a very big steakhouse. I know that they're all big these days. I mean, if you don't have 300 seats, they don't even bother opening anymore. But you walk in, it just looks like a huge bar, seats along the bar, and then you walk into another room. It's like a football field of booths and tables, and it takes a lot of customers to make that feel alive. And even if you have a nice crowd, let's say 100 people in a 300-seat restaurant, it feels dead, okay? And doesn't send off the right vibe. And I think Palms has been inching downhill. Its whole clientele, its whole, whatever its vibe is, it's skewing in the opposite direction of whatever the Fontainebleau and the Wynn are doing. And it might be a tough sell. Yeah.
Yeah, but so, I guess if you're looking for something unique, go check it out. They're doing these 3 tiny martinis for $20. They're doing other cocktails that are on the cheaper side for like $10, not your dad's old fashioned. Their food bites. They do a Caesar salad with shoestring fries for $15.
But before I
Filet
forget,
mignon
where did this girl dinner BS come from? I mean, educate
in
me.
general.
Yeah, I mean, who invented? I mean, this is one thing I can't stand about the Gen X and the Gen Z. You got to put a name on everything, okay? I mean, everything has to have a label put on it. Girl dinner. Oh, you mean just eating out of your fridge? Yeah, like we used to call. No.
Yeah, it's girl dinner.
I was watching. I don't want to get too off subject here, but watching some stupid serial, some Netflix thing the other day, and in the middle of one of the dialogue was the one gal tells the cop, "We're porn positive," and he's an old boomer guy. He goes, "You mean you like to look at pornography?" No. Now we're porn positive. Okay. So, you gotta, you have to put a label. You have to put does that make you feel better by calling it a girl dinner versus I'm just eating out of my fridge?
Yeah. Yeah,
Who
it
invented
does.
this idea?
The internet, TikTok, and Instagram, and everyone's just posting about how they're eating like a handful of olives, a few chips, and having a drink before they go out or
Why is
before
it a
they go to
girl dinner?
bed.
Why is it a girl dinner? Why isn't it a boy dinner?
Well, because a boy's gonna go to a fast food restaurant and get a burger and fries, and
Okay.
girls are just like, we're peckish. We're just gonna go eat a few little things. But yeah, but okay, so you keep derailing me. But so the food there, they've got a Caesar salad, shoestring fries, $15. They've got filet mignon tips, $22 that are salted in a peppercorn, dunked in blue cheese fondue, shrimp toast on Hokkaido milk bread, Iberico lumpia, and blistered shishitos for $16. So look, if you want to get rid of your girl dinner, go out. Go to the Palms. Check it out. See what it's about.
Okay. All right, we got it out. Okay. Now I have to tee up my D'Agostino's thing because I have to defend D'Agostino's on this website now because I have people who challenge my my opinion.
All right, well, let's take a break and then you can defend them.
Yes.
While we break.
Yes.
All right. We'll be back.
All right, people, listen up. This is John Curtis. And if you're not at Vegas Unstripped on Sunday, April 26th at the Palms, you're basically admitting you'd rather eat overpriced strip slop than real food. Over 30 chefs, our best local creators, are unleashing original bites, unlimited tastings, cocktails, wine, beer from the pros. One ticket. It's all there. From 6 to 9 p.m., pure chaos in the best way. This is the event we call the one food event in Vegas you can't miss because it actually isn't BS hype.
John, breathe. Yes, it's good, really good. No tourist traps, no pretentious nonsense, just solid chefs doing what they do best. Unlimited bites and drinks, community vibe, and yeah, it's worth your time. But let's not act like missing it ends civilization, okay?
It might. Hold on. Last year it was legendary. People still talk about those bites. This is celebrating the real Vegas scene, not some corporate checklist.
All right, fine. It's the one you absolutely can't miss. And bonus, use code EATTALKREPEAT for $10 off your tickets. Makes it stupid not to go. VegasUnstripped.com. Grab them before they're gone.
Sunday, April 26th, Palms Casino Resort. Don't make us roast you next week for sitting it out. VegasUnstripped.com. See you there. Here we are.
We are back. It is a Wednesday. We are fighting through all sorts of technical difficulties with running this thing remote. We're pulling through, John.
I know.
We're pulling through. I want to hear about D'Agostino's. Where is it again?
You are always asking me where things are. It's out in the south. I don't know. I think it's
This is because you don't drive.
It's
so
like
you have no
Durango
idea. You just put your head
in
down.
someplace. I don't know. It's Durango in weird.
Buffalo.
Buffalo. Durango and Buffalo. Thank you. It used to be Cafe
Durango
Chloe.
and Buffalo don't intersect. It's Buffalo and Flamingo.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
This is because you don't drive.
Well,
You just get in the car and you get on
Like-
your phone and you start posting and tweeting, and then you arrive somewhere.
guilty as charged. But I did drive in this car for this in this town for over 30 years, so I know my way around. But I get into these neighborhoods, Buffalo, Fort Apache, Wallapai. It's out there. That's all I know about. Okay, it's out in the Southwest.
Okay.
And
Okay, tell me about it.
It's the old Cafe Chloe, which I used to despise, because my joke about Cafe Chloe was that you could smell the garlic as you were pulling into the parking lot. It was so oppressive. I mean, the chef, whose name was Piero, he's the chef from whom the original Piero's was named. Even though he was only the chef at the what is still Piero's for a very short number of years, way back in the 80s. They kept his name, and then he moved. He's now dead. Piero Imbroglio, I think was his name, and he moved around from restaurants to restaurants. He had a place on Eastern Maryland Parkway, I believe, at one point, or Maryland Parkway and DI. He ended up at Cafe Chloe, and he was just an old line garlic and pasta guy. And it was just wildly popular with the white-haired set and everything, but no seasonings, tons of tomato sauce, no imagination. But he got away with it for like 40 years. And then it got taken over by the Thompsons. Danny and Donnie Thompson, Chef Dan and his wife Brandy run the place. And they've upgraded it. They did a real. It was just in a shopping mall right there. But they've rented, knocked out a wall, taken over some side space, installed a brand new bar, put up a wall of honor, of which the world's most famous restaurant critic, moi, is on. Right above
I saw that.
Nate Tannenbaum, a lot of local people around there. So I have a soft spot in my heart for D'Agostino's, not the least because they've made it a lot better than the old Cafe Chloe, which needed an upgrade. So we go there, met some relatives of the Fugals, and the menu is classic neighborhood red sauce stuff. And I had a very nice Parmesan crusted veal chop, which I highly recommend. Chicken involtini, which is basically chicken wrapped around some mozzarella and some prosciutto, and also in a red sauce. Some mushroom pasta, which I liked a lot. Some really nice artichokes can recommend. So I put all this stuff up, and I go, and plus they've spruced it up. The full bar is very nice. And the service is really, the kids that are working it are great. And so I put this on Instagram and Twitter, and basically some of my friends go, and they just go, and they go, we had a terrible experience. I said, what? They go, why the pasta was gummy, and I asked them what they ordered, and I think that, and they got some bolognese that they hated, and they got a chicken dish they said was like a chicken with I don't know, some kind of lemon chicken with artichokes. And when I listened to them complain to me, I said, you've got to, read the room. And the room it's a red sauce Italian joint. Don't get too ambitious with your ordering. Don't sit down here and go, what I want, that sounds good. Look around. It's spaghetti. It's meatballs. It's chicken involtini. It's Parmesan crusted veal chop. They do a spicy steak and pasta dish there that's very popular, and it's featured on the menu. When you start getting into the rarefied Northern Italian pastas and dishes, you sort of lose the plot here at D'Agostino. So I sort of tried to chastise my friends gently and say, you just ordered wrong, okay? But now, in their defense, and we can debate this all day long, it's on the menu, John. The waiter told us it was good, but then the angel hair pasta came out. They said it was gummy and not very good, and they couldn't stand this one chicken dish. And so, yes, every restaurant puts things on the menu they probably shouldn't. They also sort of tell you up front what they're good at, and D'Agostino's is good at a lot of things, but classic Italian American red sauce is what they specialize in. The only thing I don't like about the place, and I spoke to one of the Thompsons recently, and I said this on social media, is the wine list is straight from like 1998. I said they need to bring the wine list into the 21st century here. I mean, it's just got a bunch of old, tired California cabs and I don't know, Chalk Hill Chardonnays and things like that just supermarket wines, is basically. But to his credit, the owner called me up and we talked about it, and I said I would, and they just need to get out of their comfort zone there and get a wine rep working with them but then again, I again see both sides of this. 6, 7, 6, 7. I see it. That's pretty hip. Huh? Look at Sammy's crawling under the table right now.
Laughing.
Yeah. I see both sides of that because the customer base there is not a Cipriani customer base. It's not a Brezza customer base. It's not a James. Not the people coming down to Esther's Kitchen are not the ones there. They will look at these more modern, more regional Italian restaurants and go, what do you mean? What are you doing here? Why can't I get a, pounded veal, with a pounded breast of veal, saltimbocca like my mommy used to make. And they're right. I mean, so that's the problem with these restaurants. They want to keep their customers happy. And if they want to modernize, they risk alienating people. I think D'Agostino's is fine. But don't expect Mark Vetri type cuisine when you go there, because if you do, you'll be disappointed. So
okay. I don't think we've ever discussed it. If it could be on the customer to order right, going into a restaurant, look around, figure it out, what the vibe is, and order stay in the lane of that.
Stay safe. This is a classic neighborhood Italian American food. It's and when my friend said they ordered a pasta bolognese, I went, I would never order a bolognese there. Okay. Bolognese sauce is Emilia Romagna food. This is not Emilia Romagna food. They will be up, and not that the chef can't do it, but I just don't think it's their wheelhouse, and it's not their customer's wheelhouse either. So, and
okay,
yes,
so
go ahead.
What do people, when they go in there, what were the things you ordered that really sing?
Well, I really liked the Parmesan crusted veal chop. It was a big veal chop, $65. So one of the more expensive things on, but really nice Parmesan crust, good piece of veal, served it with a decent Bordelaise sauce. And the food guy got this chicken involtini, which is wrapped, folded on itself with cheese in the middle, basically stuffed with cheese, smothered in a lot of red sauce, but they do that a lot here. She loved the fresh artichokes. They buy fresh artichokes, trim them, and cut them very Roman style, and just beautiful artichokes for you if you're an artichoke fan. We had a mushroom pasta I thought was okay, not super great. And the desserts came out with just kind of classic cheesecake they make in-house, and I really liked it a lot. I mean, yeah, again, I'm not expecting, rarefied air food, and the price point is definitely under a Piero's or underneath a Panavino. So you just the vibe is real neighborhoody, and I liked it. So I would bring my own bottle of wine if you're a serious Italian wine lover, though. Until they upgrade their wine list.
Do you know if they have corkage?
Yeah, they do, and I think it's like $25 a bottle. So it's not terrible.
That's reasonable.
Not terrible. Not, and I think I have a feeling that's the kind of place if you buy a bottle from them, and they probably waive it if you do that. So D'Agostino's, thumbs up, but you be careful what you order. Then the low light of the week. Let's get right to it. Well, no, let's go to the highlights first, because we'll end with the low light. So, Taste of Gujarat, Gujarat. Now, I bet you didn't know, and I barely knew, that Gujarat is a primarily vegetarian-focused cuisine from Western India. Okay, although
I did not know that.
They do serve fish and proteins and that sort of thing, but they're sort of known for their very, very aggressively spiced, but rice dishes and vegetable dishes. And we were having to be out there trying Cafe Brej, for a quick pastry and coffee in the morning, and it was almost lunchtime. I said, so let's check this out. And so we did not have we weren't that hungry. There was just two of us, so we only had three things. A stewed eggplant, which I thought was just fantastic. The pani puri, which they do at Tamba, the little hollowed out, they're like rice, chickpea fritters that are hollowed out that you put in a spicy potato thing and eat with a little mint sauce, which were great, but good, but not great. And then we got something called chicken spiced rice. I think it's called spicy chicken rice. And they didn't really have an Indian word for it. They just called it spicy chicken rice. And it was chunks of chicken on a little bit of bone and rice, kind of almost like a stir fry, like a chicken fried rice, with this incredible seasoning. I mean, just one of those where it's hot, it's spicy, it's herbal, and it's boom, 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 hitting your palate left and right. And we were taking bites going, wow, this is serious. It looks just almost like a big dish of fried rice. I'll look it up on my camera right here. And but the flavor knocked us out. Just knocked us out. And
how do you find this place?
The food gal knew about it. I don't know. She had found out something. She said, and it was again, don't ask me where it is. It's somewhere. I know Green Valley even less than I know the west and northwest side of town. But it was, the people were super nice. Apparently it's a family-run place. The mom is in the kitchen. The build-out is super nice. It used to be a different kind of restaurant. Look, it was popular. We were there for like a Saturday lunch, and I was surprised how many people were in the joint. And what's our litmus test for a restaurant? As we walked out, I went, can't wait to come back and try more things. I would definitely go back with a group, though, 4, 5, 6 people, because 2 people who weren't that hungry, you don't really get the measure of the place. But I could see from the people around me, there's a lot of interesting dishes on the menu. And if you go back, you can get them. So Taste of Gujarat, and a very pretty restaurant, too, for if I can do this.
It's on Maryland Parkway and Silverado Ranch Boulevard.
Maryland Parkway and Silverado Ranch. There you go. So
that's the trick with Indian food. You got to go with a group of at least 4.
And you really need them to guide you through the menu too. I mean, Americans know tandoori chicken and things like
butter chicken,
saag paneer, naan, the basics, which are kind of like the hamburgers and hot dogs of that cuisine. But we looked at this and we kind of ordered this just sort of as a I'll put it right up to there, right like that. You can see that's the spicy chicken rice, and it's like that long grain rice that the Indians and the Persians love, and the sauce was sort of woven into the dish. But the flavor was just explosive. And I don't mean like so hot you can't take another bite, just lots of stuff going on. And Alexandra said, she said at one point, I think the reason people don't like Indian food is there's too many flavors going on. And I said, yeah, that's both a blessing and a curse. Because if you're not used to it, you go, whoa. But if you see what they're doing, I mean, most of these places, the recipes will have like 14 spices in them. And you see how they just know how to bring them all together. And man, it's the most interesting food. So, and I mean, the other problem with Indian food, which I like to always make fun of, is it doesn't photograph that well. I mean, here's the mashed eggplant dish, right? Which was spicy. A lot of it are soups and stews and kind of very liquidy and brown, little shades of brown. But what happens on your palate's way different. Anything but boring, even if the overall appearance is. And then we also got this thing called it's bread made with millet. It's like naan, but it's made with millet, not flour. And it comes with little pieces. They call them jaggers, which is little chunks of sugar and melted ghee. And you eat it. And they say it's kind of, you eat it with the meal. It's the bread you eat with the meal, even though you dip it with sugar and ghee. Really, really good. So adding it to the list of worthwhile Indian restaurants in town. So Taste of Gujarat in Green Valley. Go figure. Okay.
Isn't it funny? Last year we did this show. We talked about no Indian restaurants.
Right. And now, now 3. Right.
We've got Tamba, Gymkhana, now this place.
I think it's going to be kind of an. In fact, we talked to the nice waiter, Hiram, Hiram. His mother is the chef, and I told him that, and he didn't. We didn't talk about me being a food writer or anything. I just said this is interesting. He goes, "Yeah, the people are very interested in our food." I said, "Well, yeah, because there's." For like the last 15 years, there's been like 2 Indian restaurants in town. Okay, and now we've doubled or tripled the number. So, gonna go back whenever I'm out there. Then we went to What's Zaap, what I mentioned before. This was the food gal's find. She had been there with one of her girlfriends, and she said this was good. And it was also again, just with 2 people, it's kind of hard. I had the Todd Mun. Do you know what Todd Mun is? It's a fish cake, a Thai fish cake, which is kind of deep fried. It's kind of almost like a gefilte fish with a lot of Thai, with turmeric and various Thai spices. It's deep fried, so it's small, like a fish patty almost, with a sweet sour sauce. Then I had some spiced chicken. I can't remember what it was. No. Sorry. The food gal had pad prick king with beef, which is their green bean dish, and I had a really, really good pork belly dish, which I asked for. He said, "How hot do you want it?" Like 1 to 5, and 5 is Thai hot, and 1 is gringo. Food gal got 2, I got 3, and 3 is plenty spicy for your average gringo palate. It is, but it was great. And then, of course,
All right.
mango sticky rice, which I think is the greatest Asian dessert ever invented. Fresh mango with sticky rice, creamy sticky rice. So that's What's that. So 2 options of the spectrum: Thai food on West Tropicana, Silverado Ranch for Indian. We travel the globe to give you nutritious and delicious restaurant advice at affordable prices.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
So,
Okay, now let's go to the low. Are we going to do Bungalow? I think we talked about Bungalow.
Bungalow.
They've got a great breakfast in.
Great breakfast. Let's go. It's good. And now, so we hadn't seen some friends in a while, and this could be a pet peeve. Friends who haul you to restaurants when they've known you for a long, long time, and they should know better than to haul you to these restaurants. But they said it was an Eastern European restaurant called Beso. And Beso means kiss, and the only thing I wanted to do was kiss this place goodbye from the minute I walked in. It was like a sports bar. It's run by. I got nothing against Bulgarians. Okay, I'm sure they're beautiful people, but there's something about when you see Eastern European food and pizza, you go, and then then the menu comes out, and it has things I like khachapuri, which is that bread with the cheese and the egg in it. It's wonderful stuff. Remember Forte Tapas, how good the food was there? Think of Forte Tapas, but 5 times worse. And you have Beso, okay? So they're trying to do that kind of food. Nothing was seasoned. I mean, salt and pepper seem to be, an exotic spice to these people. They also, I'm going to show you one picture, and I will the prosecution will rest as soon as I do this. So we're sitting there, and I say, well, let's get this charcuterie platter, right? Charcuterie platter. How bad can it be? Well, it came out looking like something you would see in a litter box, okay? All right? And this was a charcuterie platter, all right? And it tasted barely better, okay?
Oof.
I'm eating these things going, and the red stuff is called sujuk, which is a heavily spiced Middle Eastern sausage, which I've had in Lebanese restaurants, I've had in Armenian restaurants, I've had it in Turkish restaurants. I've never had it where it just these things were just bland on bland. Okay, it was the bland leading the bland. It was just awful. Okay. And
the bland leading.
the bland. It was just. And I'm sitting there stupefied by how terrible the food is, and I think that's the only picture I kept. I was so disgusted I just got rid of all of them. The salad. Then they brought out he said get the schnitzel. The schnitzel was greasy and a thick coating of bread, and it was just greasy and terrible. I asked for on top of this, I wanted the cheese platter. The cheese platter, it had two kind of cheeses, a block of feta they got from a supermarket threw on there, and then like 5 or 6 little triangles of the blandest white cheese you've ever put in your mouth, and
Oh,
the cat poop, okay, stuff. And I'm just stupefied by how bad this food is. The pelmeni came out, the little dumplings, which even if they're worse, most dumplings are okay. Again, a complete stranger to any salt and pepper. And I'm just looking around. I asked for the wine list. There's like 4 bottles of wine on the list. They're all $35. They're nothing any person who likes wine would want to drink. It's like how these places get away. Oh, I just figured it's a front. It's got to be some, it's basically a money laundering front, or maybe they import, fine furniture from Armenia or something, and just are using the restaurant as a lost leader. It's pretty terrible. Yeah.
Can I give you a fun fact?
What?
Beso restaurant has 4.8 stars on Google,
Yeah.
and it's 482 reviews.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably
4.8.
480 relative to the owners, probably. Yeah. Well, it's cheap. I mean, I'll give you that. And most of these places do it with the fact that they're just cheap. I mean, I think the most expensive entree is like $22 or something. It's very, very inexpensive, but you get what you pay for. So, and by the way, we were there with 6 people. There was a lot of food got ordered, and I was stupefied by what I saw around me. Would you like a bite of this? No. I don't want a bite of this.
Oh man!
Save me from Bulgarian restaurants.
You've taken one for the team and for our listeners, guys. You know to avoid it. I realized I did go somewhere. I went back to Old Manny's Seafood Shack because you kind of put into my head that you don't think it's going. You're just like kind of like I like it. I just don't get it, or you don't really think it's doing anything that unique. And I went back and I loved it. Those seafood tacos are really, really great. My favorite one is called the Black Pearl. It's a spicy shrimp taco, really fresh, and I do the fish taco. I love them. I don't know. John, go back, love it. Open your heart up.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. I've been there twice. I liked it. I just didn't love it. Okay. And I want everyone to know, before I get off of Beso, I wanted to like Beso. I wanted Beso to revive my opinion of Eastern European food, and sadly, it did not. So I want you to know this. I don't want anybody saying, you just can't stand, Armenians or Bulgarians or Romanians or whatever. No, that's not true.
Would it have helped their cause if they had a picture of you on their wall? Would you have liked it more?
Well, at least the Italians at their worst understand the seasoning of food. And I just don't think, no, it wouldn't have helped because, first they wouldn't, and they'll probably put out a contract on me after this. You don't want to get the Bulgarian mafia mad at you. I just think it's a seasoning thing. Okay. I mean, let's just, all the joking aside, from the pelmeni to the sausage to the schnitzel. I mean, it's just, it's a way of cooking food that is the business as usual for that area of the world, but doesn't have nearly the excitement or the excitation that the let's say the Mediterranean cuisines have, which revel in adding the peppers and the Calabrian this and the oregano that, and trying to jazz up the flavor of proteins and vegetables versus just sort of cooking them and putting them in front of people. And that's what I got from the sausage, which is why I thought it was just so terrible. But I mean, you're probably some old Bulgarian guy going, oh my God, these are the best sausages. And I'll go, okay, fine. It's just what we're used to. Oh.
All right. Well, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I came out strong, came out swinging against the stadium on Main Street. And they have reached out and they want me to do a round 2. They are very very apologetic for my experience, and they said it was like the first day of the chef, and I sh I should have said something in real time, but ultimately, they wanna make sure that they can prove what they're really all about, so I'm gonna go back. I'm not writing the stadium off. They're a neighbor, and I'm gonna go back.
Well, yeah, you should have had your head examined for going there in the first place. I mean, it's a bar. It's not a place to eat.
But I go to a lot of bars, and I get a lot of food there that's very
You know,
good.
here's a pro tip: go to restaurants that serve restaurant food for to eat. They're not bars that serve food as an afterthought.
No, no, no. No, 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 no. In 2025, 2026, if you're a bar and you're serving food, it needs to be edible. I
All right.
agree. The items on this menu, the restaurant is called Stadium, so they're trying to give menu items that replicate what you would find in a stadium around America. Pretzel bites, wings, nachos, things like that.
Mhm.
It just needs to be edible. That's all. And I'm okay with stadium food.
And
I
you,
go
you had
high,
like
I go
you
low.
had stale nachos. Was that the complaint? One of the complaints?
Stale nacho chips
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
chewy
yeah.
pretzel bites. So I'm excited. Look, I am always willing to give someone a second chance. And so Stadium, Horse Trailer Hideout, I will come check it out. I love the bar, Horse Trailer Hideout. I will go check out the stadium food again. Um, and I'll report back.
All right, I can't wait. All right.
Do you have a pet peeve?
Oh well, my pet peeve, okay, is that and we've had this one before, but I pointed out again. The only thing I didn't care for at a taste of Gujarat was the frickin' uncomfortable booths. Okay, let me see. And I will. I'm gonna send this to Sammy so she can post it on her. I'm gonna show you the booth. I mean, this is kind of. It's like no one had ever sat in this booth before. Okay, and the food gal's gonna kill me for showing you this. Okay, let me. She said I didn't have any makeup on. Okay, okay. It would. All right. Here are the booths. I will put it. We'll put it up on the website. The booths were squared seating. So basically it's like a couch. Goes out and then squared off. So two people, one person, one person. So for four, right? But the table up to the booth was semicircular. So you have a square, literally a round hole and a square peg, okay? Or a round peg and a square hole.
Peg, yeah, square hole and a round peg.
And a round peg and a square hole. And so you have a 90-degree angle booth and a on this half moon table that's too close to the. Now, okay, I got a 40-inch waist and I'm a 200-pound guy, but I'm not that big. And you could literally and the this is the greatest. The table is bolted to the floor. These aren't going to be like you can't move these things. These things are immovable. They are there. I mean, it would take it would take a hand grenade to move these things off this. So you can't get in. It's too close. The round table is too close there. Even if you're a 120-pound gal, you're going to be right up to it. But now, as you're sitting there, you're forced to sit sideways against the square booth to get up to the round table. And it was the most uncomfortable seating I have ever had in a booth anywhere. And it was like, did no one bother sitting in these chairs before they bought them? Because that's the whole restaurant, too. I think there were maybe there's some four tops. But basically, most of the seating is there's a bar, like a semicircular bar, and then there's kind of a big U-shaped restaurant, and it's all booths. So you're going to be sitting at these booths, I think, unless maybe one or two not. And I'm just dumbfounded at how someone could do this. I'm like, so I'm kind of sitting like this at a round table, and I'm pressed. It was just the most weirdest thing. So constant pet peeve: sit in your fucking furniture before you buy it for a restaurant. End of rant.
They probably got it on Facebook Marketplace. Great deal. They're making it work.
And Bulgarians, season your food, and we're always forgiven.
Oh, okay. My pet peeve is funny. I went out the other night and I ordered a cocktail, and it's one of those. My friend and I, we ordered cocktails, and they were like margaritas or mezcal, tequila drinks. So they have salt on the rim, right? And this place is nice. So they've got this black salt. It kind of goes down. It's decorative, but they're nice cocktails. And this new waitress is bringing them, and she has her paws all over the salt.
The salt rim. The first place I want to lick when I get I get the salted rim cocktail.
Yeah, so like this is the cocktail, and the salt goes it's only on like this segment of the drink, but it goes down pretty far. And she's got her hand all over it. And
where have those thumbs been?
Oh my gosh. So, and the funnier part was she was totally new. She's like lost. She brought them over. They're spilling. She's like holding them like crooked, so they're dripping. And then she puts them down, realizes her hands are covered in salt, and then is just standing there because she doesn't know what to do with her hands. She's just like, I can't wipe them on my dress.
Oh God.
I think there was maybe some medication involved. I don't know. She might have been on a different planet, but it was so funny. My friend and I are still laughing.
Where was
about
this?
It.
Or you don't want to talk about it?
It was in Newport, a restaurant that I dearly love. I highly recommend. This girl was new, confirmed it with the owners and other wait staff who are all incredible. Arc Butcher and Baker on Balboa Peninsula in Newport Beach. They have a couple locations. They've got one in Costa Mesa, Arc Libations, and they cook a lot of stuff over live fire. Really great cocktails, really incredible wine list that's really well priced. This girl just didn't know what she was doing, and it unlocked. I was like, I had never even thought of someone doing this.
Yeah,
but
it's like they got to get the bartenders and the wait staff need to synchronize these things. Well, one other thing I'll say about Beso, and it was true, the service was great. The service was good.
Okay.
So let's end on a high note, because I feel like I picked on a couple of restaurants a little too much. So
great service will always be a redeeming factor.
Yes, and maybe that's part of the reason they have so many positive reviews. It ain't for the sausage, I'll tell you. I am with service over sausage.
And for that, guys, please follow us on socials. Like, follow, subscribe, leave reviews, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
All right. Good night, Canada. Bon appetit, mes amis.